Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And what you see on the screen is coming from this movie called Disclosure Day. I think the movie comes out around June 12th or June 10th, one of them. But it's pretty much going into having, this Earth having contact with, aliens. And these types of movies come out every 2 to 3 years. With all of this UFO talk and the UFO files being released, this and that, this would be a good time to release this type of movie according to these devils. But the same way they bring these movies out, and them knowing what the Bible says, because they get this out the scriptures, man. So does they get X-Men, Godzilla, Leave the World Behind, Civil War, The Purge. They get all of these things from the scriptures, man. But the same way they can go in the scriptures and make a movie out of what they read in the scriptures, the same way they'll add some lies to it, man. Because, when you look at certain trailers on this movie, they still have that same image of green men, short, skinny men with big heads and raindrop heads and big black eyes and things of that sort, man, which is a lie, right? They're not going to tell you how the angels, because there's no aliens, man. There's angels. And they're not going to tell you how the angels actually look, right? They're not going to tell you what's the real reason that these, chariots are going to enter the earth, man. And this is what this is on the screen. It's a chariot coming out of the clouds. And the scriptures tell you that the chariots, they are in the clouds, and they are clouds, right? So I just brought that out in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 verse 2 is because this is how the elect of the nation of Israel, and only the elect of the nation of Israel, is getting out of Babylon the Great by way of these so-called UFOs, the vehicles of the Most High, the chariots. It's the only way that they're going to leave Babylon the Great. No other way. They're not going to get on a ship, a plane, right? A bike, a motorcycle. They're not going to get on any other vehicle and get up out of Babylon, man. They're leaving out of here in a very powerful fashion that nobody can stop. This is going to happen. The Lord is going to return this way, right? And people are going to shit on themselves, pretty much. So, for one, let's get how the angels look. Because if these are vehicles, if these are vehicles of the Lord, there has to be someone driving them and controlling. Right? This is Ezekiel. Let me just give you let me just give you the truth on how the angels look, not no damn aliens. Because you got many videos showing you the chariots in the skies. Many videos. And people bugging out on the phone, right? You're seeing all these bright lights in the sky, and they moving different, and they turning from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8, and then just completely disappearing. You know, these are the chariots. We know Esau got his programs where, you know, he has his own version of the UFOs and whatever, but the elect is going to know the real from the fake. So this is Ezekiel chapter 1. I'm going to start at 4. It says, "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it. And out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire." So, you know, something similar to what you see on the screen. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get a copyright from, you know, YouTube or whatever. So I'm going to just leave this image here. Right? So it says, in verse 5, it says, "Also," so Ezekiel seen a chariot, right, coming out of the clouds. All right, look like fire, like a fireball. What else did he see? Verse 5, it said, "Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man." Right? "And every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot." Powerful, man. If you see something like that, you're going to want to get up out of town, man. You won't be able to sleep. It says, and they sparkled, meaning the angels, they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. Right? So they sparkle like the color of burnished brass. And who else looked like brass? See, you devils, you done messed up, man. You done completely messed up. Daniel chapter 10 and verse 6. It says, I'm going to start at 5. It says, "Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girdled with fine gold of UFOS. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as of lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass." So the angels sparkle like fine brass, and it tells you that the Lord, he was the color of polished brass, which is very dark skin, man. Right? Dark brown to dark chocolate brown, man. It says, "And the voice of his words were Salakia, the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude." That's how deep his voice was, man. This is how so-called Negroes' voice is, man. Very deep. And it makes people jump when certain Negroes talk. Right? And this is we on the low level right now. You know, we're in a low level. But you see, when the Lord returns, and this is just one little vision of what you see right here. But imagine the whole sky be lit up with chariots like this, man, and the Lord returning in that huge fathership. Right? That huge fathership, man. How do you think the people on the earth are going to react to that? People going to lose their mind. People going to die on the spot. Their hearts are not going to be able to take it. That's it for them, man. It's lights out. But the Lord is returning in this fashion. Isaiah 66 and 15, it says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots," that you see on the screen. And the chariots come in many shapes, sizes, right? So, man, the Lord is beautiful, man. It says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire." So the Lord is coming back to do damage, to shed blood. So when these chariots pop down here in the earth and they no longer, are up in the sky, way up in the sky, and you can just see bright lights, and it go from that to they right down here on the earth, and they pop out of them chariots, people gonna die, man. That's how much power and fear, right, the angels give off, man. So imagine one angel, it tells you one angel can destroy the whole earth, man. But the Lord is going to empty out the heavens for his people, man, for his children, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Everybody else is done. The elect of the nation of Israel is the only ones that are going to be saved on this side. The 2/3 of our people, they're going to be destroyed when the Lord returns, and then they're going to be reborn in the kingdom through the loins of the elect. So you don't have to believe it, but the scriptures say it. So, I'm going to leave it there. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua willing. The elect was edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rukakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And I think I'm going to check this movie out. It's called Disclosure Day. You can go watch the trailer, on YouTube, and just take the meat and throw away the bones, man. Right? To the next lesson, shalom.